Podium Audio presents House of Fire and Magic, Book 1 of Myths and Outlaws, written by Sherrilyn Kenyon, performed by Fred Berman. 1. I need your help to kill a man. Tanis watched as the black unicorn she'd captured stopped struggling against the net that had caught it mid-run. She had a bit of guilt over that. When she'd set the trap, she hadn't realized how hard the unicorn would hit it. Nor did she think it had caused the poor thing to spin and land so hard on its side. That had to hurt. I'm so sorry. She'd fallen into traps herself and knew firsthand how awful it was to be snared unawares. But she was desperate. And unlike the ones who'd trapped her, she'd meant no harm to the beautiful, majestic creature. Not really. With a jet-black coat that shimmered blue in the fading light, the unicorn's silken mane begged to be stroked and brushed. Its eyes were an unholy shade of green that glowed with fury and told her just how much it wanted to pierce her heart with the deadly black spiral horn that jutted from the center of its forehead. Unicorns were known to be every bit as lethal as dragons, even more vindictive and savage. They took no prisoners and never negotiated. Yes, the Unicorn High King had brought peace to the 13 kingdoms, but he'd done so by slaughtering any and everyone who'd challenged him. It was said that the Unicorn King was evil incarnate. Worst of the worst. The very beast who had single-handedly hunted her species and others to the brink of extinction. He reigned by exterminating anyone who questioned him. And not just that one person either. Their family, their friends, their pets. Anyone they were even remotely fond of. So why are you trying to negotiate with one? Because I'm a desperate idiot. This was the dumbest idea she'd ever conceived in her life, but desperation rode her with spurs. She had no choice. Not if she was to claim the revenge that burned through her soul like lava. As bad as she hated the unicorn race that had once preyed on hers, she hated one particular human even more. And nothing would stop her from feeling his blood on her claws, tasting his heart on her lips. And this unicorn was the key to her greatest wish. So, if she had to trip him and bruise his ego a bit, small price to pay for what she needed. If he killed her for it, that too was a price she was willing to pay. Blinking slowly, the unicorn pinned a viciously cold stare on her. You want what? Stunned he would deign speak to her, she crept closer while still keeping a respectable distance. I need your help to kill a man. His laughter filled the air. You're a dragon. Is that not what you do for fun? Well, some of her brethren did. But there was a big difference between killing for survival and committing wholesale homicide. Being a unicorn, he might not understand that, but she certainly did. I refuse to kill an entire village of innocent people because I want one man dead. It seems rather harsh, if you ask me. Maybe not to the unicorn, given what she knew of them. But the equity of that just didn't sit right with her. Why? Confused by his angry question, she stepped closer to the net that held him. Why what? Why do you want this one man dead so badly that you'd risk your life to trap me? That was easy enough to answer. He killed my brother. While my brother slept. Cowards snuck in as if my brother were a monster and not the best brother who'd ever lived. Best father and husband, too. Then, The real monster took my brother's head. I want him to pay for his crime." The unicorn tried to untangle its horn from the loop that held it. "Dragon Slayer, you say?" "Aye. A putrid, vile beast I have to find. I know you have the magic to make me human, and I need that. Unicorns were born of magic the likes of which no other species could match, except for one, and it wasn't hers. It was said they could do anything they wanted, even live forever. And there was only one thing she craved. I want to look him in the eyes when I take his life and reclaim my brother's head from him. Please, help me save my brother's honor." Dash eyed the vengeful dragon curiously. With ombre scales of red to orange, she held a pair of dark brown eyes that smoldered from her passion for vengeance. Hell, she could blast him with fire right now. While it wouldn't kill him, it would take him centuries to heal. Ruin his day, most definitely. Piss him off to absolutely no end. Yet she refrained, and that restraint impressed him. And impressing him was a hard feat for any creature to accomplish. He also understood her hatred for a human. They were treacherous, cutthroat bastards first and foremost, especially since he had one in particular he needed to spear with his horn. But then, dragons weren't much better than a human. Most days they weren't better than maggots. Dragons, too, were known for their treachery. And their treasure hunting. Before peace had been brokered between the reigning monarchs of the 13 kingdoms, dragons had laid waste to entire nations for no other reason than to take their gold and jewels. No one knew exactly how wealthy the dragons were, but they were said to be richer than all the other 12 kingdoms combined. Given his own experience with them, he could easily believe their riches were beyond measure. Not to mention, dragons and unicorns were natural enemies. Back in the day, dragons had helped wizards enslave his kind, until unicorns had learned to command the same power those wizards had. His horn itched as a reminder of what he had to lose, and what he was desperate to find. It had been why he was rushing in such a state that he'd missed the lure the dragon had used to snare him. In his normal frame of mind, he'd have never fallen for such a trick. Damn me. And damn her as well. If I say no, she let out a tired sigh. I don't like to hurt things. Weird comment for a dragon, especially given their natural tendency to set things that annoyed them on fire. Not to mention, she'd be hard-pressed to harm him, given his powers. But I need this, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get to the man who killed my brother. Please don't make me into something I'd rather not be. I just want justice. How simple she made it sound. But life was never easy, nor was it that simple. If you kill this man, you'll become a killer, Madam Dragon. I know. But this is one life to appease my soul that craves equity for the life he took, and to keep that murderer. She spat the word as if she could taste it like bitter fruit. From killing more innocents. If I don't stop him, his future killings are on me. I won't have that either. Someone has to stop him from taking someone else's father from them. That made perfect sense. He'd done worse to protect those he cared about, and he intended to make his past sins look petty once he caught up to the man he was currently seeking. As he looked into her clear, dark eyes and saw the depth of her grief and determination, it touched him. How could he deny her the very thing he was out to claim for himself? No one should lose a loved one, not needlessly, especially not to cruelty. And he wasn't hypocrite enough to deny her the very thing he wanted.